I said that I never let another lover break my heart, darling. I said I never would. But if you ask me to, I just might change my mind. Walk back in your life forever. If you ask me to. Yeah. Hey, Nikki. Game on and Heavy Bear. Y'all the first ones here. Happy Sunday, people. Ain't y'all nice? Ain't it nice you ain't got to feel guilty about not going to church today? I come here, people, I kept seeing everybody, all these black folks are reviewing this movie, Tiger King, right? I said, what is interesting about the Tiger King? But after about the fourth one reviewing it, I said, well, I must be missing out on something, right? So I went on and watched Netflix Tiger King, which was a very interesting story, but something stood out to me. So I want to talk about these boys and Tiger King, Joe Exotic. I want to talk about these relationships because to many people say, "What we're so stuck on that one's straight, that one's gay." These titles are bisexual, but many times it doesn't fit. Many of these relationships do not fit in any of these categories. So I want to talk about it for a minute. But first, I want to tell you why. Let me say hello, you guys. Hey, 4-2. I'm calling you 4-2, brother, because your name is. Wait a minute. Envy King. His name is. This is the Envy King. NT King. 4-2W. Hello. I'm sorry. All right, guys. Hello. Yeah, so first I'm going to read you this story from my book. I'll be shameless. Meth Monster. It's got a different title on it now, but fortunately, most of you people who watch me apparently have read this book because the sales have been outrageous for the last 6-7 months. But there's the part I want to focus on. Then I'll talk about the Tiger King, his relationships, right? So first, I want to read a little bit from my book, Meth Monster. This is just a little bit, but it was a relationship that I had in here. Okay. The next really stupid thing I did in San Francisco was to get emotionally involved with the straight man. I know this sounds a little strange. How could this dude possibly be straight if he was involved with me? But in the underworld of meth users, the lines between sexual orientations got very blurry. You see, it really was all about the drugs for a lot of people. I knew countless numbers of heterosexual men who had sex with men on a regular basis and still considered themselves straight. A few years earlier, I would have said that this was bull, that any man who had sex with another man had to be at least bisexual. But that was only because I hadn't lived long enough yet. Hustlers did it. Many men in prison did it. And down and out drug addicts definitely did it. Not everybody, but certainly lots. That's not to say that all of these guys were just in it for the money or drugs. I also encountered many men who I strongly suspect were doing crystal meth specifically for the purposes of having sex with men. Let me put it like this. If I were straight, and yet every time I shot up crystal, I found myself in bed with a man, and then I continued to shoot up crystal on a regular basis, what would that make me? After all, there are many other drugs out there if all I wanted to do was have to get high, right? To this day, I'm not really sure where my friend, let's call him Corey, fit into this blurriness. But whatever it was that went on between us, it went on for 8 years. When I first met Corey, he was standing on a dimly lit corner on Polk Street. No big mystery there. To anyone who might have been watching, he was obviously a hustler, and I was just as obviously trying to pick him up. To my amazement, he actually turned me down the first time. Not that I thought that I was some kind of irresistible catch or anything, but he was working as a prostitute at the time. Things had been going very well for me in the drug business, and frankly, I just wasn't used to being turned down, especially not by hustlers. Naturally, I thought it was because he was a racist, but a few weeks later, when I asked him why he wouldn't go with me the first time, he took a chance and told me the truth. I didn't go with you, Jabber. That was my name at the time. Jabber. He said, because you didn't have any teeth, and I just didn't think you had any money. I'm gonna get in trouble for that, but this book has been around for a long time, honey. Y'all know what happened. Okay. Okay. I didn't think you had any money. Okay. Out of the mouths of babes. Oh well, I couldn't very well fault him there. What he said was the exact truth, or I should say, half of the exact truth. I had just had all of my front teeth pulled at San Quentin and was then paroled before the dentures were ready. The funny thing was, not one other person had made mention of this since I arrived in San Francisco, and I had almost forgotten that I had no front grill. This was another benefit of using meth. No less than a third of the people I knew were missing all or most of their teeth. Anyway, I like this dude right off the top. I was 36 at this time, and Corey was 24. And man, oh man, what a great looking dude this was. To me, he was the character played by Brad Pitt in the movie Thelma and Louise. Even though he never told me this, I'm sure someone on the street must have told him who I was and what I did for a living. Because the second time I approached him, there was no hesitation. In fact, the second time Corey approached me. So sure, we both knew where we stood from the beginning. Except wasn't he supposed to ask me for money or drugs or something? Corey and I became quick friends and we hung out together a lot. But it wasn't until we found ourselves I'm starting to talk too fast. It wasn't until we wound up in jail together that things were taken to another level. It was not the custom in San Francisco County jail system to put black and white men together in the same cell. But for some reason, we were able to slip through the cracks. And it was there in that cell that we became emotionally involved. I choose not to use the phrase fell in love, only because that would imply that we were both equally invested. In hindsight, I can see that I was probably to Corey what Fast Freddy had been to me. I knew and played the drug game well, and Corey wanted in. That's not to say that we weren't close. During the couple of months we spent locked in that cell together, Corey and I became about as close as I had been with anyone since I lost Jimmy. Jimmy was my actual lover. He had died a few years earlier. What complicated matters was the fact that he wasn't really gay, and I certainly was. Someone was obviously going to get hurt, and since it wasn't Corey, but for the moment, things were going well. We both went on to prison from there. Me on another violation, and Corey for the first time. A few months later, when we got out around the same time, we hooked up as partners in crime. Freddie's first important advice to me. Freddie was my mentor in the drug game. Freddie's first important advice to me had been that I should give up boosting and get serious about making money. Now I was telling Corey that he'd never make a dime until he gave up crack. When I met him, he was addicted to both crystal meth and crack cocaine. Both were bad, but crack was worse, at least on the wallet. To my amazement, he gave it up. Just like that. In no time flat, Corey was making his own money. But he didn't just take off, as many thought he would as soon as he was able. Instead, he invited me to his wedding. I couldn't believe it. Just as casually as if he were telling me that he wore a size 10.5 tennis shoe, Corey informed me that he was engaged to be married. That's what I mean about him not being gay. I think that even a bisexual man would have had the sensitivity to realize that I would be devastated over this. To me, our relationship meant everything. To him, it obviously meant nothing. Bit more. Well, no matter how I felt about it, Corey got married. And then about 7 months later, he became a father. Then 5 months after that, he was separated. And shortly after that, Corey was divorced. The whole thing from beginning to end lasted about 2 years. And yes, I was still hanging around on the sidelines for all of those 2 years. Not that I was wanting or waiting for him and his wife to break up. They had produced a beautiful baby boy, and I was actually hoping they could make it work. Be that as it may, in short order, Corey was back in the life. However, things would never be the same between us, no matter how desperately I wanted them to be. Okay, well, that's the end of that story, basically. So, you see the similarity, you people who watched the Lion King, the Tiger King. This dude, Joe Exotic. Let me stop him a minute and say hello. How you doing? How you doing, people? Happy Sunday. Hey, Nikki, Nicole Reloaded, my wonderful moderators. So I read that story for a reason, but I want to discuss this other thing that other people don't seem to respect. They don't think that a straight man can have a relationship with a man. And that is not my experience. I talked about this experience, but this was a common occurrence among meth heads. All of the dealers had good boys, put it like that. Many of them were not gay. They were on drugs, right? But what would happen oftentimes is, and I think it happened in my relationship with Corey, you begin to love this person. Perhaps in the gay guy's mind, this is his husband. And I suspect that many times in the straight guy's mind, this is his best friend with benefits, put it like that. Anyway, so this dude, Joe Exotic, he had this one first guy. The first guy we saw, name was John Finley. And if you guys haven't watched that movie, I think it draws you in. I think there's something like, is it 7 or 8 episodes? I watched them back to back yesterday. Anyway, to introduce us to this one guy. This is the guy, he's shirtless, he's all tatted up and all that kind of stuff. And he looks to me like a typical hustler type, right? So these guys, they are able to, I guess they're bisexual technically, but this dude, he's in his 20s. He said he met Joe at 19. Now, for a guy to be in their 20s and lose almost all their teeth, he's got to be a meth addict. I don't know any other drug that would make you lose your teeth like that. They say that heroin is hard on your teeth as well. But a lot of the guys who do meth lose their grill. So it becomes an accepted smile. Don't read. I know a lot of you are tempted to run over there to certain people. Anyway. So this boy, he looks like about 24, 25 years old. And he is Joe's boyfriend or lover, I guess. He ain't got no teeth. To me, they downplayed the drug addiction in this thing. Because obviously these boys are hooked on meth. And then later on in the show, they show that Joe is also hooked on meth, which is why he got so paranoid and ended up destroying his career. Right? Then he meets another guy. This guy is very attracted to Joe. In fact, on his pelvis, he has got property of Joe, what's his name? Joe Exotic, on right over his penis. Right? So these guys are obviously very sexual. They're kissing the mouth and all that. I guess Joe don't mind enough to. We didn't see Joe. Joe had enough sense not to smile so broadly. But his was probably messed up as well. What I'm saying is this. In the dope world, it's very common to have these kind of relationships. And these guys really do care about the person they're involved with. Although they consider themselves straight. They're straight. They're in a relationship with the man. Sounds strange. Most people would say that, well, that's bisexual, right? But then he gets this other guy. He goes and tells us how big his feet are and things. This other guy he meets, and he's about 19 years old. Well, this is what people are able to do this. Most adult men are not going to be able to just go into somebody's life and then be giving cars and giving all that. I know straight people do all that. They buy their girl all kind of cars and apartments and all that kind of stuff. But usually this happens with hustlers, young guys. So I don't buy this thing. Oh, he seduced them. Oh, he made them. If they weren't getting drugs from Joe, they'd be out there getting drugs elsewhere with other people. Thing about dope is you have to everything in the house is worth anything. So if your body is worth something, you're going to sell it. It's just the reality. But this guy is very comfortable, very happy that he's walking around with no teeth. I kept saying, why don't you buy some teeth? He's walking around with no teeth and then driving Hummers. Joe is buying them all these exotic cars and things like that, right? But that's the way it is. And I know that from personal experience. These guys are drug addicts. He met the other guy. He said he's straight. And he's 19 years old. A lot of them, people start hustling when they get to town. They start hustling because they can get money for their work. And a lot of times they don't even know what they are. They don't remember. They have sex with men 5 times a week. They might meet a girl once every 6 months. But many of them still claim that they're sex. They have the mannerism of a straight man. And a lot of these guys like Joe actually do not want a gay guy. They want a straight man. So they're both playing into the same fantasy, right? Okay, so this guy, he falls in love with them. So those 3 get married. Now, I know gay marriage is illegal now, and this thing is taking place fairly recently, I think. But I don't know about the 3 people getting married. So maybe this is just a ceremony that they were doing. I don't think it's an official marriage with 3 people. This kid likes to play with guns. Best I remember it. He likes to play with guns. And this is the one I believe Travis killed himself. I don't know that he was trying to kill himself. He had this habit. One of his tweak things was playing with guns and pointing guns at people, right? People say, don't point the guns nowhere, all that kind of stuff. They show him off camera playing with this gun. He had just been pointing at the secretary guy. And he goes off camera and blows his brains out. Was it an accident or was it a suicide? I'm not sure. I don't think this show makes it plain what it was. Was it just a foolish accident, a boy playing with a gun, or was it suicide? Okay. Then this other guy comes in, Travis. Travis is in love. This is the one he had when he got busted. Even after he got busted, Travis is calling him every day. Why would he call him every day if he wasn't in love with him? There's no reason to. Joe's gone. I think he ended up getting 20 years. But this guy fell in love with Joe, right? Now, some people will say, oh, they're only doing it for money. They don't care nothing about the person. Don't women do that? I mean, come on. Don't you? Wouldn't you guys prefer to have somebody with money? I remember in Beverly Hills, you would see all these old guys with all this money. They're driving around in Bentleys and Rolls Royces and all that. And you can count on some young, I won't say tart, a much younger woman being with this man. Now, is she with him because he's so sexy? Or does she crave what he can do for her? So we ain't the only ones that's nasty. My point. Okay, so the story. So I believe all these guys fell in love with him. He was taking care of them. He was giving them cars. He was treating them like, they're somebody. They fell in love with him. My guy, Corey, he was in love with me. He named his child after me. So I know he was in love with me. Although I still consider them straight. Our whole relationship. He didn't even want to be called bisexual. Because initially I said, well, you're bi or you're gay. That's what I thought he was. And he told me, no, I'm not gay. I just like you. Anyway, I thought that story was fascinating. This obsession with this boy and his competitor, Carol Baskins, it was epic. I don't know why he got away with all the threats and the things he did with her online. It sort of reminds you of this beefs and things we have here online. And a lot of their relationship was online. He had a website. She had a website. I believe they were both on YouTube. They did regular online shows, but they were dead lead characters. I don't know why, because they live in separate states. I need to make this point. Yeah, that a person living in Florida and a person living, I don't know where you live, Texas or wherever. How are they in competition when their customers are in different states? Nobody's driving all the way there to see his petting zoo if they got a zoo right there with her. You know what I mean? But they consider themselves competitors. And this was an online beef, an ongoing online beef. Because when they first started, Joe wasn't even old. None of them were old. I mean, they started this relationship, this beef they had when they were relatively young. I would say in their 30s. By the end of it, they had to be 50. Anyway, this woman, they said that she murdered her husband and she got all this money, right? She was in competition with Joe. They both had similar type businesses, but she said she considered herself saving the animals. She considered him abusing the animals when they were doing basically the same thing. They both had zoos. I didn't see these animals being abused. The one incident of abuse was when this dude, Joe, he had a guy on there making a reality show. Sound familiar? Guy is making a reality show, right? He got all this footage of following them around, catching them at all very compromising things, catching them threatening this woman, catching a whole lot of footage, right? They have an agreement. This guy is making this film. Joe is starting to feel the heat from the police. People are telling him that people are asking about him. Feds are asking about him. He gets paranoid, right? So at first he wanted the reality show, but he decided to kill. He had like alligator thing where they have alligators in there. I don't forget how many alligators are in there, but some kind of huge building where they kept alligators next to the studio where they made videos. And also they were making this this reality show, right? The whole thing burns up. I'm not Columbo. I think Joe burned everything up. This was just days after he found out that they were coming for him. Burned it up, crushed this guy, this videographer, because he had made this show. The show was in the can. In other words, it was ready to be edited and put out. I don't know if they were going to do it online or he was trying to sell the show to some kind of cable television kind of thing. Anyway, so Joe murdered those alligators. Now, for a true alligator lover, you would think that you would find a way to destroy that building or to get the alligators out or to some other alternative other than just killing these innocent animals. So he did that. Hey, people. Yeah, I couldn't resist talking about this show. I said, well, so many people talking about it. What is so interesting about it? So I do like a lot of reality type shows like that, So I'm not going to tell you how the story ends up. I just tell you that I believe all three of these guys were in love with Joe, and they married him. Two of them married him. One of them tattooed across his pelvic area, his name. He was daddy. He was taking care of everything, and they did have a real relationship. Now, some people say, oh, that's nasty. Oh, you're procuring young boys and all this kind of stuff, right? And totally ignore the fact that this other guy, what's his name? Dr. Ansel, I believe is his name. Dr. Ansel. He was another competitor. He's the one that taught Joe a lot. But he had an actual harem. He had many wives. he had like 4 and 5 girls at a time. He took care of all of them, right? They all worked there on his establishment. His establishment was much more organized and much more polished than these other guys, right? So he was a big game guy as well, and he had a zoo, and he had a lot of women. But these guys were not just screwing everybody; they were having relationships. They were like sister wives, kind of thing, right? Anyway, I'm not going to totally spoil this thing for you guys, but eventually Joe becomes so obsessed with this girl Carol as his life is falling apart that he starts plotting. Okay, y'all still in the house? Miss Marshall, his book Meth Monster is on Audible. Yeah, Meth Monster is on Audible. It's on Amazon. I should start putting the link in here for where all my books are, because you go to Amazon, you can see all of them. But Meth Monster is the one that's most popular. It's about coming off drugs. But I had one of those relationships, though. I know exactly what they were talking about. I understand exactly. And that's what it reminded me of that. Can I walk to Polk Street and Uncle Tim's house? I can walk to Polk Street. Okay, so Polk Street is over there. It's at the edge of the Tenderloin. Doesn't feel like Tenderloin because it's actually a nice area, but it's where all the hustlers and meth heads hung out. And my house is Castro. So there's 2 different neighborhoods, Stephanie. So I ain't hardly even been to Polk Street since I got clean. That'd be between Joe. Right. He had dolls shooting her in the head, and oh my goodness. But that's what could happen. You see what could happen, people. Pay attention. That's what could happen with all this beef stuff. Because they had an online beef. Maybe they were competing for online audience as well. It could be that. Because I don't see how they were competing in different states for customers. It wasn't like it was thousands of people, you know. They had no petting zoos and things. And they had different ways they were selling different items, Tiger Lady outfits, and all that kind of stuff. But I guess that where they were really competing would be online, because she had millions of followers and then he had millions of followers, right? So maybe that was their competition. It was all about the tube. Oh, thank you, Nicole. Let me see. I'm gonna test. Well, I can't test it now because I'll go off. But yeah, maybe that shows all the books. Yeah, book club. Wally did a book. He added me to his book club, and I got several readers from him. So thank you, Wally. He enjoyed it. I think Wally liked METH Muscle so much because he's working on a book himself, a real life autobiography or memoir. If nothing else, that book was real. I didn't fudge anything or exaggerate anything. So I think that's what his attraction was. I wonder how far Wally is along in his book, though. I could probably help him. I mean, I know the ropes. I did 5 books. Mm-hmm. Okay, remember Joe. Joe has no chill when it came to Carol. Joe, I think they played it down. Joe was a meth addict. He had to be. Everybody around him was on drugs. How could he not be on drugs? They didn't show any of them high or anything like that. But I think that was a primary thing. Meth makes you paranoid. So he felt like this woman had to die. Now, he'd been beefing with her. How long did they beef? 10 years, 20 years? Something like that. Because when they started, they were both young. And when they ended, they both be in their 50s. Thanks, Trinity. Let me see. So how y'all hanging in here with this quarantine? You getting stir crazy yet? See, I'm at home all the time anyway, so it's not that big a deal to me. It would be nice to go out, go to the gym, go get some air. I walk the dog twice a day, but his walk has been reduced. And I'm not even sure I should be letting the dog sniff other dogs. I've been telling the dogs 6 feet as well, honey. But it's like a ghost town out there. Ain't nobody moving around. And now when you go to the store, you got to stand in line outside. I guess it was, at first I thought it was going to be horrible because I saw this long line wrapped around Safeway, right? Then I got in the line moved relatively quick. Maybe they let 10 people in at a time. But when I got inside the store, I didn't wait at all. So I guess that was the issue they were addressing, people packing into these long lines and breathing each other's air. So now you got to wait outside the store. I still say it's go first thing in the morning. They stock all night. They even had hand sanitizer. I got all the way through the line, and then I looked over at another. I was paying for my stuff. I looked over this other register. I said, "Is that hand sanitizer?" They had like buckets of them, but sitting off to the side. So I guess they hadn't put them out yet. Anyway, I was able to pick up some of those. Get extra because you ain't gonna be going to the store. It's not good to be going to the store all the time either. You can limit how much you're exposed to other people. Yeah, get into Netflix and stuff. Yeah, I struggle with watching whole movies because I say, "Oh, I'm bored," because I want to get back to this thing or I want to get to news or whatever. My attention span has been robbed by all these damn things, all these options. You go to Netflix, you got 1,000 movies to choose from. But since I'm locked in here, and I was able to actually focus up, get into a movie, watch it all the way to the end. It's a different experience. Something I hadn't been doing for a while, so. You can watch things. I should be doing exercises in here. I know you can do. I'm gonna be big as a house when I come out of this damn place after no exercise for months. But there are exercises you can do at home. I'm too lazy to do them. Hoard it. Well, the stores should limit their hoarding. Like that one store, y'all see that woman had a whole basket full of toilet paper, and this other woman said, "Can I have one? I just need one thing of toilet paper," and the woman wouldn't give it to her, and they started fighting in this. And I don't know what they were in, Target or wherever the store they were at, fighting over the toilet paper. Now that woman should not be able to get past that register with all that toilet paper. She shouldn't be able to come to in there and clean out all the shelves of toilet paper, right? So I would think that there will be a limit on how many you can get. I know there's a limit on most things. You know, you can't go in there and buy 10 gallons of milk. You got to buy 1 or 2 like that. So everybody's able to get something. But yeah, that's up to the stores. So they're going to have to control that, or you're going to have more violence. And mark my words, they're going to start with crime soon too. You know, people got to eat. I'm just glad anything that I have financially is all direct deposit. So that doesn't seem to be affected at all. And they say Amazon, they're doing a bang up business, and the deliveries are actually faster than they were before. So apparently they've taken on a lot more people. I'm not a person big on shopping for some things you can buy online, you know, but I like to see what I'm buying. And if I'm buying clothes, I don't want to try the pants on because my body's all funny style now. So they got to fit just right. Mike Tyson, okay. Stop, boy. I've had a root. Okay, whatever. Who is that? I've had something. Okay, that's personal, Miles. Andrea. Stop it! My NC child. Okay. Yesterday, this is Andrea. Yesterday, I was in CVS, and they had little signs for a part that we were to stand while we were in. Okay. Yeah, they're telling you stand apart even when you're in the lines for food and stuff. So maybe the line is going all the way to the back of the store. It might not be so severe if we were tight again, you know. Yeah, even in the park, they have signs saying 6 feet apart, please. And did anybody notice how fast these numbers are moving though? Wasn't it just? It was day. I know it was day 4 yesterday. We had 1,000 deaths in United States. Now it's over 2,000. It's just been 2 days. So the numbers are doubling. So we could end up in a situation like those people in Europe very easily, or China. We need to be studying very closely what China did, why they slowed down so severely. Maybe they're exaggerating the numbers, but still, it's significant that they're not getting the cases anymore. I had to call my vet. Huh? Caramel Angel? You said I had to call my vet when I saw the vaccine was overdue for coronavirus, but it's not the same. Oh, they got a coronavirus in dogs and animals? Apparently, coronavirus is not just a single virus. This is a certain strain. Because apparently it's been around for a while, but I didn't know it affected animals. Now, this dog, he does cough. He when he's outside, he pulls, and it makes him sound like he's coughing, whatever. But he's always had that. You know, I'm sure other people see that and they will, oh no, get away from me. He pulls and it hits his esophagus, I guess. Makes him cough. Okay, cows have been vaccinated for coronavirus for years. Okay. So what happened? Somebody ate a bat sandwich or something? It's amazing how that thing can cross over to the human species and move so fast. whatever. If maybe they were starving, they tried to eat some bat. I don't know. So they say it came from a bat, but from a single bat, one person can get a virus and go to all these people. They got a lot of those disaster movies on Netflix too, but I can't watch it. It's like it's too. What was one of it was called? Outbreak, Pandemic. I can't watch that stuff. Hell, that makes me feel I'm more hopeless. Thank you for buying perishable, not toilet paper. Yeah, I went ahead and got me two or three. I guess I got two of them big old things, toilet paper. Even though I already have one unopened, but you might as well stock up because we don't know how bad it's gonna get, honey. If you have the money, I hate to just spending my money, just sitting in the house spending all my money. But if you have the money, it's best to stock up because it could get a whole lot worse, right? And nobody want to be up in no house with no toilet paper. Somebody say you got to poop and then go take a shower every time. Well, I guess maybe you only poop one time a day. Make sure you get your those. That's what I'm scared of. Those dishwashing pellets. What are those little packages you put in your dishwasher? I ran out of them one time. Oh, it was like my computer just died. I got to wash dishes. Oh hell no, honey. So if you can stock up, stock up. Okay, human. Okay, so Carmel Angel says canine corona is gastro, so it'd be in the stomach, and human corona is respiratory. Okay. Yeah, I was talking to this guy before all this madness started, maybe January, who got deathly ill, and they had him on respirator. I said, well, that was more than likely corona because he got very, very, very ill. We had to be rushed to the hospital, emergency room, and all this stuff. And he never understood. He said, well, I didn't have corona. Well, they had no test then. How do they know? They didn't test him for coronavirus. They said, well, it's just the flu. Go home. It's so little known now. I bet you that guy had coronavirus, though. Dogs tested positive for the virus. Well, yeah, apparently they have a different strain of it, though, Stephanie. Carmel Angel says that they animals get it in their gastro system and humans get it in their respiratory system. So it's different. They don't go from one to the other. I hope not, because my dog's always coughing in my face. He'll do that. I lay him on my stomach, and the spit will be in my face. So I'm doomed if that happens. Doomed. I'll put a mask on my baby. I think if that were the case, though, we would be sick by now. Accused China of spreading information. Okay, Michael Smith. The UK is upset with China and has accused the Chinese of spreading misinformation about the current situation. I hope these people don't turn this into some political battle thing and blaming. Trump couldn't wait to open his mouth, but the Chinese virus. He just gave it a name right there on TV. People, just figure out what works now. I hope they're not going to turn that into this country blaming that country, this country blaming that country. You got work to do, people. Serious work. If the Chinese, you feel like you gave them misinformation, maybe some people feel like, well, they still got cases, but they're not saying it now, or whatever they're playing it, however they're working it out, it seems to be working. So you should be working together. Coronaviruses are this is from Nicole Reloaded. Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses. Okay, wait a minute. I want to read that. Some coronaviruses cause cold-like illness in people, while others cause illness in certain types of animals, such as cattle, camels, and bats. I think bats was what they're saying where the problem started. Somebody made a bat sandwich somewhere. Amazing how fragile life is, though. How many thousand people? Is it 100,000 all over the world? I think the number is something like 100,000 people that died because of whatever, however that person got infected with a bat. Now, could the bat have just bit somebody? You would think that would have happened eons ago, though. It had to be something unique. Maybe this bat was sick, and most bats are not sick. Walter Hampton's partner got really sick after returning from a trip. He almost died, and they said he had the flu. Right, Rochelle, I am certain, just like Walter is, that he had coronavirus. Earl, he pulled through, but he pulled through in just the way that they're treating coronavirus patients, right? So that's a good story that he did pull through, but he got extraordinarily sick. I think he coded at one point. Coded mean you died for whatever amount of seconds or minutes. You haven't seen it? Go see it. My sir. I'm so horrible with these names. Yeah. My sir. Oh, we talking about that movie. I haven't seen. I don't know why, but a lot of black folks watched that movie and reviewed it. Even Miss T.I. was watching her. What's her name? Lovely T. She's reviewing it. Funky Dineva reviewed it. Other people on here are it caught people's attention. I guess people have plenty of time on their hands now to watch these series. I might check out a couple of other of these Netflix. Netflix hooks you in by these series more so than movies. My Sasser one. Go watch it. It's worth watching. It's interesting. Bats don't bite unless they have rabies. I haven't heard any mention of rabies, but I guess they had rabies. Maybe they had rats and rabies and this virus. But it seemed like over all the whole world, a bat would have bit somebody by now. What's different about this particular situation? 33,000 people died. Is that worldwide? So maybe I keep confusing the number of people who are infected with the number of people who actually died. So 33,000, still a big number, but you spread it all over the world, you know. Is bats having rabies a myth? I don't imagine that'd be a myth. Dogs get rabies. Mm-hmm. Names are killing me. Right. This is the only situation where you have to call out the names, you know. I don't know why you like these long ones. This guy's his name is I'm the truth. Gerald Watch God. Okay, Gerald. Can we just call you Gerald or Gigi? Okay. All right. Call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. Honey. Gerald. The real Wolverine is on Fi Babe right now. The Wolverine is on Fi Babe? What is he doing to Fi Babe? Are they beefing again? You people thought we played some kind of game or something. Ain't nobody playing no game. But after that, seems like after Atlanta, people are not beefing so much. Is this a cool off period? Maybe something happens when you actually meet people face to face, and then it's hard to just go back and rip their head off again. Seems like to me, as long as you didn't know these people, you never saw them, that you will be able to tear their ass up. So we're gonna see. But Tracy and Wilson had met. That didn't stop them. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe just a cool off period. Baby, please be quiet. Be quiet. Okay, so it is 33 deaths. 33,881 deaths worldwide. But when you're talking worldwide, those numbers are going to jump by thousands each day. Here it's jumped, it doubled in the last 2 days. We're in trouble. Imagine your loved ones dying, and nothing you can do about it. And I guess they say a lot of these people are dying by themselves because their family can't come near them because they have coronavirus. You know, that's sad. Your loved ones in there dying, and you can't even go in there and talk to them. It's too risky. You certainly can't live in the same house with them. It seems like every family that gets it, the whole family gets it. Hey, Troy Allen. A chemical warfare experiment. Well, they want to kill the whole damn world. I guess there could be some Hitlers out there. Baby, please be quiet. Why won't you be quiet? Are you going crazy? Say hello to people. He hadn't talked to you in a while. Say hello. Say hi. Hi, baby. Say, look there. Look at that thing right there. Look up there. Hi. How you doing? What you doing? Put me down, Daddy. I don't smile. Look how hairy he's getting. My baby needs a haircut. If I'd known that we were going to be locked down, I would have got him a haircut before we started. I said, oh, well, that was my plan. Like 2 days later, and now he's going to be stuck with his haircut for however long we locked in here. Okay, so Troy Allen, you on this conspiracy? He said, I'm thinking it might be a chemical biological warfare experiment gone bad. We ain't gonna find out right now, but it's something strange because I imagine if this thing is in bats, somebody got bit by a bat before. Or maybe this virus just is it a mutation of something else? That could be it too. If a biological experiment, is that the future? This is how we just go kill the whole country, release viruses, bio warfare they call it, chemical bio warfare. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't help that Trump made enemies out of the whole damn world. So who knows how closely they're actually working together. He's America first, America first. Now you see that we all connected, fool. What am I having for dinner tonight? Oh, Sharky, Sharky. I've been eating Marie Callender's. So this is my diet anyway. I did get a bunch of soups. Soups are good. I didn't realize how good they were. So I don't know, some kind of Marie Callender's frozen meal, honey. That's it. Eat for $3. Eat $3 a day. I don't trust the restaurants. I live in a neighborhood. It's walkable. There's restaurants all over the place. Some of them are doing takeout. I only tried it once, but I thought, no, these people they're all in the meat and they're touching everything inside of there, and that's going directly into your mouth. And then you gotta worry about the bag, and then you gotta worry about the packaging. And fuck that. I just said I'll just eat Marie Callender's. But now I think Troy Allen was talking about this. People are saying that when you go to the supermarket, when you bring the stuff in your house, it's got people have been touching the stuff, every item in your bag, right? Every item in your bag and the bag, they've all been touched by all these different people. It's Safeway. So when you bring your bag of groceries into your house, there's a possibility that you're bringing Corona in there with it. So they're saying leave it in your garage for 3 days. Well, first of all, I don't have no garage. But I guess you could put it in a plastic bag and leave it for 3 days. But most stuff is perishable. So they didn't touch the stuff in the refrigerator. Does the cold air kill the coronavirus? They're saying that heat kills it. So that the cold air might make it live even more. It's crazy. I don't have all the answers to that, Troy Allen. Do the best you can, is all I say. But that is true. I guess it makes sense to take, we have these Clorox wipes and wipe down every item in your bag to feel safe. I know these parents must make them nuts. They got to look out for other people. See, that's the thing about being single. When you're single, you just worry about yourself. When you have a family, you got to worry about everybody in the family. I did get one good idea out of the thing you did, Troy, is your cereal, because kids are going to be eating a lot of cereal. Take it out of the box and throw the box away, because whatever was being touched would be on the box, not on the inside wrapper. And even if the people who work in the factory on inside package, it would have been a lot more than 3 days since they touched it. So I did use that. I wouldn't took all my cereal out of the thing. But then you got to watch, are your hands covered while you're throwing it away? Shit. For a paranoid person, this is going to be a nightmare. A person who is naturally paranoid, this thing has got to be a nightmare. I don't know how the immunity is staying afloat because these two trains that come in front of my window, I've seen not one person on them. Every time I look out there to see the train, they're all empty. So I have a strong suspicion that those are going to be closing down soon. Spray some Lysol on everything. Well, spray bottle, that make more sense. Lysol, yeah, if you're talking about fresh stuff, I wouldn't mess with that. But she said spray some Lysol on everything. Okay. With Ruly. See, I haven't even been spraying anything. I use those wipes, those Clorox things. Right. You got to take care of your parents. Yeah, I got to call my mom. I've been lazy about that. Mm-hmm. Well, Miles, I can agree with you in a way. I mean, if we ever start thinking about what we actually do as human beings, because animals are so wonderful, right? And if you think about it too much, you be thinking of that nice chicken I was talking to this morning. I just chopped his head off and sold his leg for $1. So, according to the Bible, eating animals is our nature, but a lot of these people are proving that you don't got to eat animals. You know, some places eat monkeys. To me, a monkey is almost like a person. Yeah, so you got to have a certain amount of denial to survive. You start thinking about these lovely animals. Look at all these beautiful animals in that movie. Chopping them up, eating them. How many chickens does the Kentucky Colonel kill a day? So yeah, you got to have a little bit of denial about that. Good evening. Where you at? Love Carlos. Love Chaos. Love Chaos. You must be where you at? You said good evening with your dark shades on. I think it's interesting when people are in different countries and they're on here. I hope not. I hope people don't turn on Chinese people. That thing could have started anywhere. Could have started right here. Could have started Indiana. Could have started anywhere. You know. But I wouldn't blame people. Oh, what are you gonna blame the man who ate the bat? Is that mean but the government's supposed to be responsible for watching that man, make sure he don't eat no bat? That's dumb. That's stupid. Do we blame Africa for HIV? Can't have an outbreak anywhere. I'm real sensitive to this Asian thing because 33 and a third % of San Francisco are Asian. So these are our neighbors. I hope people don't act like that. That's why it pissed me off when that Trump went out there talking about the Chinese virus. He's such an asshole. He's so tribal, and he's a bigot. He can't wait to blame this thing on everybody. And when he loses the election, what's it going to be about? Oh, everything was going beautiful. Oh, the economy was the best in the world. Everything was fabulous. I only lost because of the virus. You lost because of your handling of the virus, Trump. That's what they're watching. They're watching every time you come on the damn screen, you say something stupid. You smashed. Wait a minute. Hold on. Shush, Trish. Hey, Uncle Tim, I smashed. What do you mean you smashed? That mean you got some? What? Wait a minute. When the players say they smashed, that means they what are you saying, Shush, Trish? If you did, good for you, honey. I wonder if I'm going to live my whole rest of my life without ever having sex again. It was never a plan. It certainly is no religious reasons. But I haven't had it in years. It's curious. I just don't see this anonymous thing. I have to actually meet somebody that I liked. Somebody who don't mind the fat stomach, honey. I can't watch him either. Live Life 10. I literally cannot watch that man talk. I said, this is a waste of air. Whatever he says is a lie. Some manipulation of his. You can't believe a damn thing come out of his mouth. That's terrible. I said it from the very beginning. I said, how can you have a president and you can't believe anything he says? He just lies in normal conditions. I cannot watch that dude. I can't even watch him talk. I watched after the commentators, the ones I trust. Of course, he says they're all fake news, So he's telling us we can't even trust the damn commentator. Just trust him, the known liar, the habitual liar. We trust the habitual liar and ignore all the professionals in every arena. Kung fu. That anyway. Trump called coronavirus kung fu. He lies when the truth would help. Right. He just lies about everything. And now he's on these other, he's the president of the United States. He is telling people not to send supplies to certain states because he didn't like their attitude. So what, Trump? You would have people die because they weren't respectful? He's crazy. He goes and talks about these people who are working the best they can to get the supplies they need. He's picking and choosing which ones you should help and which ones are horrible people that don't know anything. Don't send them any supplies. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Well, they're getting a chance to see what they chose. I don't know why these hillbillies are still hooked into this dude. I mean, I know at first it just appealed to people's prejudice and so forth. So that's what he ran on from the very first statement he made about Mexicans. That's what he ran on, is just prejudice and bigotry. So he identified that's in people, and so he played on that, right? But now they see this job as the head of the country is a serious job. How you gonna ban people? Whatever. Get my blood pressure all out of whack. That old man should just lay his ass down somewhere and go and retire. Surely he hasn't messed up all the money. He can at least retire in comfort. Sit your ass down somewhere. Nobody's impressed by you, Trump. Well, I don't know why he even want that job. I still think it was because Obama insulted him. He's been on one ever since. If that black bastard can get a president, I certainly can. Then he went there taking credit for all of that man's work while he's trying to dissemble all of it. He's the one to put the country back in shape. Obama's economy was similar to this. So now he's got one even worse. Time to do some work, Trump. They say his ratings are going, oh, I just can't imagine those kind of people in the earth. But apparently, there are a lot of those people in the earth. They don't give a damn. As long as he hates all the rest of us, he's one of us. Miles want to know, are there any other university students on lockdown in the chat? He thinks he's a king. Oh, they like what I said. They really like Trump. Fool. It was the experiment. Anybody can be president, and it failed, Trump. You made a fool of yourself. They're going to be talking bad about you for the rest of your life and your family. Don't think they're not going to suffer by being associated with you. I don't know. I'm on Social Security, so they said I might get $600. Whatever. We ain't tripping on it, honey. We'd be happy to get anything. People working, I think they get 1,200. As they get over, what is it? Over 75. People who making $100,000 shouldn't need it, really, but they get a little bit less. Oh, there's several of you guys are in school. Okay. Ratings today. Andrea said he talked about ratings today. I started yelling at the TV. Unfortunately, he can't hear you. I don't know these smart TVs. Wait a minute, what? That's when I need to stop watching him. They're smart TVs. I have his friend, right? Somebody told him that his smart TV, he had a technician come over there to fix his TV or something, some computer thing, right? And he said he showed his apartment online. He said everybody online can see this. So smart TVs apparently are too smart, and they can have that camera on watching you when you don't know that they're watching you. So when I go over his house, he's got towels over all the cameras. He don't allow no laptops open like that, phones face down. Like I said, this could be hell for somebody who's already paranoid, honey. This could be like living in hell. Oh, there he goes. Lord have mercy. There he goes. I hear the children in the building. You know, these children now, they are locked in their apartments. This is an apartment building. And some of them got 2 or 3 kids. Get out here. Let me go lock the door. Close the door. Stay there. This building has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments in it, right? So that means there are kids here. So you know the kids got to be going stir crazy, and the parents. So what can they do? They can't go out, so they got to run down the hallways. Everybody need a little break, a little me time. Prayers for us all. That's right. Sometimes I pray for San Francisco, all this stuff I see out here in these streets. And then I said, well, hell, that's not only San Francisco. Heaven help us all. Heaven help the black boy who won't. What's that song? Heaven help the, wait a minute. Heaven help the black man who won't reach 21. Heaven help the white man who gave that boy a gun. Help the mighty or something. Heaven help us all. Heaven help us all. Whoa, I love that Stevie Wonder. His lyrics stick to me like glue. Great thing about YouTube, you can actually go and pull up the old videos and get the words right. Obviously, I haven't done that. Yeah, so you got to pray for the whole planet now, because now one man is not better than any other man. This is an attack on all of us. So Trump's theory that is all about America is wrong, because there are going to be situations like this where we're all going to be in the same boat. Think about those families in Italy, Spain. My God, they're devastated. Caskets all over the place. And that could happen here. And they say we're catching up with the numbers. And a whole lot more people here. Oh, okay, Miles. I'm going to go over there too. Wait a minute. Okay, I saw that Fat Babe was on. Was it last night or this morning? And now I got to go rewatch James News cleanups. Yeah, I like those cleanups, honey. I love those cleanups. Right? He got Miss Fabi over there buying songs and carrying on town. Yeah, I'll go over there in a minute too. I love when you say you love when I sing. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Some people send me put in my chat. Please don't sing. Don't do anything. Do anything. Just don't sing. I guess they're into tone. Oh my God. Could you imagine being there with an abusive person, Trinity Love? Some children have a real life boogeyman in their homes, and school was an escape from some little boy or girl. Keep them in mind when you complain about being quarantined. Right. Can you imagine being in the house with some fool in there that's an abusive person? He's in there frustrated, can't get out. So he's probably drinking. You know, he or she. Yeah, I imagine it is hell with some people. School was an escape. School was also a decent meal. Yeah, we over an hour anyway. Yes, y'all done got my curiosity up now. I'm gonna go over here and watch these children. Watch James Colwell. Who else alive? Kelly Love's hilarious. Let me go catch up with these other children. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. Stay safe. Watch TV.